My name is Osprey, and welcome to the first real episode of what it would be like to live in video games world. Today I'm covering Undertale Yellow, a fan game where you play as a human falling down into the land of monsters, just like in the original Undertale. Now, I am no Undertale Yellow expert as I have never even played it before, but I am passionate about games, so let me know what I get wrong. Anyways, let's take a look. Now, humans do exist in Undertale Yellow, so I will be assuming that you were still human. Now, if you did not climb Mount Ebbet, then you would live a regular life, but I know that's not what you're here for. Let's get into the actual game. First is the fall, which, from what we know, is quite far. It would probably hurt or kill you in real life, but in this we will assume that just like Clover, you land in a field of flowers without a scratch. This is where, similar to an Undertale Yellow, there are two paths you could take, being peaceful and friendly, or not. First, let's look at what would happen if you were peaceful. There are many friendly monsters in Undertale Yellow, but some who are not friendly. Surviving could be difficult due to the non-friendly monsters, especially if you or yourself are trying to be friendly. But if you manage to survive the danger and find nice monsters to hang out with, then you might be able to integrate into monster society pretty well. Now, let's look at what happened if you were not peaceful. To go down neutral genocide routes. Now, it's likely that with following in-game logic, weaker monsters should not be too big of a deal. Now, if you did lose to one of the weaker monsters, then you would become one of the human souls trapped in the monster world. While the weak monsters will probably be fine, it's more likely that the stronger monsters will be trouble. They are hard from a game perspective where you get many tries, so only getting one try before kicking the bucket would be bad. It's likely that all the strongest monsters would outclass you, so being hostile would not work well. Hey there, my name is Osprey, and welcome to the second episode of what it would be like to live in the world of a video game. Today, I'm covering Don't Starve, as well as its sequel, Don't Starve Together, as they are very similar games. Don't Starve and Don't Starve Together are very unique survival games where you play as one of many people that get stuck in a strange realm. Anyways, let's take a look. Now, first off, you are still human, as they do exist. I'll also assume that for one reason or another, you end up in the Constant, the magical realm where the game takes place. This is where things start to get tricky. The first thing to worry about that presents itself as an immediate threat is the hostile creatures and monsters that litter the Constant. Things like bees, pig people, spiders, and mermen would all be bad, but assuming you avoid them, we move on to the next issue and the namesake of the game, starvation. Getting food would be crucial, so finding it would be very important. I hope you're not a picky eater, because a steady and reliable food source like farming or meat would be required. The last immediate threat is the darkness. If you don't starve, the darkness is deadly. Staying in the darkness could very quickly lead to Charlie killing you. Getting a fire going through the night would be important as you don't have any other way to get light. Overall, living in the world of Don't Starve would be pretty bad as you would need to defend yourself, get enough food to not starve, and get enough wood for fires to avoid the dark. Luckily, there is a bit more hope in Don't Starve Together, as that would allow you to survive along with someone else, but your odds are still not very good. Hello there, my name is Osprey, and welcome to episode 3 of what it would be like to live in the world of a video game. Today, I'm covering Hollow Knight, one of my favorite games of all time, where you play as a little bug trying to cure a kingdom of an ancient infection. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Now, in Hollow Knight, there are three versions I could do. Outside of Hollow Nest, the game's setting, inside Hollow Nest before the infection started, and inside Hollow Nest after the infection started. I'm going to do the last one because that's what we see most of in-game. As well, this is the first episode where humans do not exist in-game, so I will assume that you are the same species or similar species to the Wandering Husk. Now, the first danger is the infected bugs, who are mindless and aggressive husks. Avoiding them would be difficult, but recommended. If you were able to avoid hostile creatures, then getting a nail off a corpse or off the ground for self-defense would be good. Along with that, there are several areas of the map that you should avoid, like Deep Nest, Fungal Wastes, and Crystal Peak. The next major issue is you yourself getting infected. The infection in Hollow Knight is not like regular infections, as it spreads through the mind, specifically dreams. Now, not much is known about the infection, so I'm unsure how you would avoid getting infected, or if you did, how you would get cured. What I do know is that nobody in the town of Dirtmouth gets infected, so I'll assume that staying there is your best bet. Another upside of staying in Dirtmouth is the lack of hostile creatures. All in all, if you were to live in the world of Hollow Knight, staying in Dirtmouth would be the best. Hello there, my name is Osprey, and welcome to episode 4 of what it would be like to live in the world of a video game. Today, I'm covering Rain World, a game where you play as a cute little guy exploring and attempting to survive a big and hostile world. Anyways, let's take a look. First off, similar to last episode, there are no humans in Rain World, so I will assume that you are a slug cat, which is the species that you play as. Now, Rain World is one of the most realistic environment simulators out there, and it shows as in this game there are tons of things that would love to have you as a snack, like lizards and vultures. Hiding or avoiding these creatures is the best, but some creatures like lizards can be tame. Overall, I'd say it's not worth. The other main threat is starvation, and making sure you have enough food and shelter before the titular rain pours. Might be difficult. Finding stuff and figuring out what you can eat would be crucial, but for the purposes of this video, things like bat flies and blue fruits are good sources. However, there is a major caveat. In Rain World, everything comes back to life after dying. In-game, this can be seen as the player respawning, but in the lore, you, the slug cat, do in fact come back to life where you last rested. This means that you could do whatever you want whenever you want, so long as you're fine with having a pretty painful death every time. If you wanted to die permanently for whatever reason, then making your way to the Void Sea would be the only way to do so. Overall, Rainworld is a hostile and dangerous place with lots of things trying to eat you and you trying to eat lots of things. But the fact that you can revive infinitely technically makes it the safest game yet. Hello there, my name is Osprey, and welcome to episode 5 of what it would be like to live in the world of a video game. Today, I'm covering Vampire Survivors, a game where you play as a person killing all sorts of undead creatures. Anyways, let's begin. To start, humans do exist in Vampire Survivors, so I will assume that you are still human. Along with that, I will assume that in the world of Vampire Survivors, the experience orbs and upgrades you can buy still exist for everyone, as without them this would be a very short video. Now, whether or not there is a place you could go to be safe is unknown, so I'll just look at defending yourself from the monsters. Surviving would be difficult. Incredibly difficult. So much so that it is very likely you would die, and I'm unsure if you would be able to come back alive. Making another assumption here, if you were able to come back alive like we see with the main characters, then you could progressively get stronger until you're able to kill the Ender, and, well, then you just die again. It appears that similar to last episode, this game is just a life and death loop.